Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel to free your future. We are continuing our summer 2022 intensive, and around this time colleges are sending out financial aid statements for the upcoming school year. Some make sense, others don't. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you my 3 easy steps for understanding what your statement is actually saying and know the true cost of going to a college. Let's get into it. Before we get too far in the video, I want to make it clear that when talking about understanding your financial aid and how it affects your budget, you're going to want to reference the right document. You want a categorized list of expenses and deductions or awards. This list has different names. Some call it a financial plan, others call it a financial aid statement or financial aid package. But again, you're trying to look for the itemized deductions and expenses. So now we come to the first step in understanding your financial aid document, and that is go ahead and put on your debt-free glasses. More on that later, but first, colleges often hide your student loans, which have to be paid back with your money sooner or later, amid the rest of your awards, like scholarships and grants. This means that when you look at the amount due per term, you actually aren't seeing the whole picture. To correct this, imagine you are putting on debt-free glasses, and I wish I had some like physical glasses to help this object lesson, but I'll imagine with you, and we'll put on our debt-free glasses, viewing this document through the lens of no debt. Look through the list of awards and cross out everything that has the word loan in it. That word is the synonym of debt. It's a loan, it's debt, it's bondage. You don't want any of that. So go ahead and strike through everything that says loan. Besides, is it really an award if you pay $1,000 only to have immediate access to $900? It doesn't seem like an award to me. It just seems like a bad deal. The second step is to read the fine print to make sense of the large print. Now, I say that because the large print is the big numbers with all those zeros behind them that the recruiting officers flash in front of your eyes, trying to make you think, oh, this is a great school. Look, they've given me $1,000 more than this other school, or $10,000 more than this other school. But you need to read the fine print to see what all those flashy numbers are and what they mean. So we're going to look at the expenses. And so on our financial aid package, we will see what they mean when they put down for one itemized category a certain dollar amount. Now, I'll be the first to admit that looking through the fine print on any document is boring. However, it can be immensely helpful in understanding what items are actually school expenses and which ones are actually personal expenses that you would account for with your budget. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the previous video where I walk you through an example of budgeting and how to do a budget yourself, check it up here somewhere. But yeah, take books for instance. They write down books, $572. That simply means that that's the average of what students spend on books at that college. And it's not a rule that you have to do. There are many ways to buy books. And by the way, stay on the lookout for a video coming up in the future where I talk about different ways you can pay less for your textbooks. So when that's produced, I'll put a link in the description. It's not filmed yet, but yes, keep an eye out for it in the future. So because you have a say in what the bottom line of that expense category, books, is, it's really not supposed to be on your financial aid statement. Go ahead and cross that out. It is not solely an institutional expense. You can get a book from the university bookstore, or you can get it from Amazon, eBay, or a friend who took the class before. And in those ways, you can tighten down on the cost or pay more, depending on your personal budget. And that's going to be a theme in this video. You always need to be thinking about your personal budget, what you do with your money when you bring it in. That plan is super important, super important. Another item commonly included in the financial aid statement is a meal plan. Do I have to have a meal plan, or can I just pay per meal? And what I mean by that is some colleges will outsource their food providing to some food service company, okay? And what they will say is, oh, okay, food service company, if you provide us with your service, we will guarantee a certain number of students will be customers of yours. And the service company says, oh, sure, we have a deal. And so us students are left with a mandatory limit for the minimum number of meals we must eat at the CAF or whatever food service option they have on campus. Instead, I would prefer going to a college that had a pay by the meal plan. In that case, you are already budgeting for your food expenses in your budget. So it takes care of itself. You don't spend more than that budget category, and you get food, and it doesn't break the bank. You still have money for food. And you would treat the cafeteria or other food service provider as the same level as any other restaurant. You'd have Panda Express, Taco Bell, Del Taco, or the CAF, and you would just have them on the same playing field and say, oh, does the CAF have a great meal today? Would I want to pay my money to go there instead of another place? Or going to the grocery store and making my own food that I know I'll like? These are things to consider with the meal choice. But yeah, the main point is, can you get away with saying, no thanks, I'll take care of my own food and not have a meal plan? In my case, with the document I have pulled up, that isn't possible. So I'm just going to keep the meal plan there. But now, this is crazy. They have a miscellaneous expense or other category? What? This should be covered in our budget. You know, it should be paid for directly out of our miscellaneous category within our budget. And if you watched last video, you'll know that that category is essential for precisely the same things that they are listing in the fine print for this. Let me go ahead and pull up a zoom in on this portion. It says examples of other charges. The express station, extra meals, charges at the cafeteria, additional textbook costs, club dues, campus activities, library fines, parking tickets, etc. Those kind of things don't need to be on your financial aid statement. They need to be covered directly by you. You can do it. You can just have your purse or wallet there and, oh, well, there's a library fine. Well, guess what? What would you do for any other fine or bill? You would go to that place and pay it then and there, right? So if there's a ball game where you want to buy a concession or something, you wouldn't put that on your school bill. You'd just go there and hand over the cash and buy your nachos or whatever. So yeah, paying for it directly is the way to go. So now that we've crossed out the expenses that we can cover personally, we're going to transition into the third and final step. But before we do, I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and like this video. It spreads the message, gets it in front of more people, and if you want to leave a comment below with a question you have regarding affording college, let me know and I'll try to answer it in a future video. So the final step is to write down the bottom line. What is the bottom line? It is the bare bones cost that you have to pay to go to that college. And this step is simple. Simply get out your calculator and add up all the expenses and add up all of the awards that are non-loan, no loans, and subtract the awards from the expenses. And what you're left with is your bottom line, the amount you are responsible for paying to the institution. And be sure to write that amount down on the actual statement, because then when you're looking at it and referencing it later, you can see not their calculations with messed up categories, but you can see your numbers and say, all right, I ran the calculations, I did the assessing, and this is the number that I will have to pay. And so you can easily compare colleges like, all right, this is the bottom line for this college, and this is the bottom line for this college, regardless of whether one college pays you a higher dollar amount in scholarships. They might also have higher expenses, right? Which would make this college have a lower bottom line and make it more affordable for you. So there you go. My 3 easy tips for understanding your financial aid package. And just to recap, they are putting on those debt-free glasses and reading the fine print and crossing out expenses that you can pay for personally, and finally adding them and subtracting to determine the bottom line. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked this video, be sure to check out my How to Choose a College That's Right for You video. Thanks for watching.